Welcome to EMERJ TV with Reggie Smith. This podcast is about all things production for the people in front of the camera or behind the camera. Let's join Reggie right now for the discussion.
Hey everybody, welcome back. This is part 2 of my conversation with Bob Lewandowski, Mr. TV, and I'm going to say it, I'll just take it. I purposely left out our foray into professional sports. We were to say we were a cable TV crew really is kind of it doesn't do it justice, because it was a cable television system who had a really nice production truck.
That nobody else had.
Right. Nobody in the state.
Nobody in the cable industry like us, yeah.
And had a crew that we figured we were just as good as the NBC crew or ABC, or if they cover sports, okay, give us their truck. We can do what they do. But what was really cool, we did CBA basketball, Continental Basketball Association.
Yeah.
We went to, we go to Toronto one time.
Went to Lima, Ohio.
And so now, well, first of all, how did that come about?
Let me try to... Detroit got a franchise called the Detroit Spirits. Mm-hmm. You have to really be a big sports fan to remember that one. So we had a franchise here in Detroit, and they wanted to do some television, and we somehow got hooked up with them locally. And that's what started it. And then the league was expanding their television coverage, and they needed production help. And I think they recognized that we could do the job and do it, on the cheap. They have to pay us a ton of money to produce a game and make it look professional, make it look broadcast quality. And our people got good enough. That's the only reason we were able to do that. We were good enough. All of you guys did such a great job that, these folks can do our television.
Now, did you have to submit a demo or something like that? Had they seen?
Yeah, I did. And I ended up working with a guy named Jim Drucker, who was the commissioner of the Continental Basketball Association. Mm-hmm. His father was an NBA referee. He had a long background in professional sports.
Yeah.
And he ended up being the commissioner of this league. He was a maniac. He was a wild guy. But that's who my contact was, and that's who I worked with. Yeah. Because
we got there. Now the first game was the one I mentioned to you where I was doing audio, and we had commentator, color announcer, color commentator. We had the effects mics.
Yeah.
And then we had, I think it was oh my God, what? And then I think we had mics on the cameras, I think.
Yeah, we did a lot of times because when we were in the huddle.
You're right.
Pick up the conversations with the coaches and
players. So my job was, okay, they said, well, Reggie, when we fade to black, you have to bring all these channel downs, but leave the 2 effects mics up because we're feeding effects for radio. Mm. And they thought enough of what we could do that we're feeding effects for radio broadcast. And now that guy, he just has a microphone and he's just taking our sound effects feed.
Yeah.
And I remember I was sitting there and I don't know whether we were, I don't know if it was between quarters or it might have been halftime. And I kind of zoned out and I just brought everything down and went, oops. And by the time he looked around, I had it back up. But that, see, and the thing about it is you did the announcing. So see, aside from what we were able to do as a crew, see, I know. So it's been 43 years in the industry for me. So I know that if the main voice or the front face is not there, It's not going to work. I don't care what kind of
We're
camera.
in trouble.
So that says something about what you put into it. So, and see, I don't know if I'm asking you the right questions to get. I don't even know what answer I want to get from you. But you were broadcast quality. You were there because if you hadn't been there, if we had done CBA, you might have been one of the assistants giving the announcer the information. So you had, how do you get? Okay. I'll put it to you this way. There's somebody watching who wants to be a sports announcer. What do you tell them? What?
It's such a different world today than it was when we were all starting out. The amount of media that has exploded and expanded, everything is televised now. So in one regard, there are a lot more opportunities to get into the business because every game now is televised, from the smallest college conferences to everything professional and a whole bunch of in between. So there's probably more opportunities than there used to be. Still very competitive. I think anybody that's a sportscaster either played a lot of sports or certainly was around it a lot, because you've got to have that background to be able to describe what you're seeing and paint the picture and explain what's going on and lead into the analyst and what information maybe they're going to provide.
Yeah.
So I don't know how anybody could get into it unless you have at least a pretty solid sports background one way or the other. And again, nowadays, probably every high school has a radio program or a TV program. Or we didn't in high school. There was nothing like that.
Yeah.
And I did a little bit of that in college, but we didn't really have much even in college when I was at Wayne State. So there are many more opportunities like that. That's a great place. Now the schools themselves can televise their own games. So that's a great way to practice and get good and learn the craft trade.
Yeah. Well, when Ken was here, we talked about the caliber of people who worked, including you, and including guys like Ben Weber, where we all ended up. There's a group. Matter of fact, there's a photograph. I see it on Facebook every now and then, and Ken was standing there. I was sitting in the bleachers. It was like John and Sherry Velty and, some of the other crews sitting on the bleachers. And I looked at it and I thought, man, just about everybody in that shot went on to professional, in the industry. Yeah. And nobody, like I said, a lot of people came in and out, but there was a core. And I attribute it to three people: you, Ken, and Jim, because of what you all put into it. And so and again, like I said, I don't know if I'm asking you the right questions, but you didn't say, well, let's just sit back and have some beers and watch a basketball game or watch Tiger baseball. So, kind of enlighten me? I don't know.
We broke it down. We watched the games. We saw what they were doing. We saw where the cameras were and how the director cut from camera to camera and so forth. And we said, we can do that. And so we tried to copy, emulate the professionals, the real professionals. And we had enough talented people that could do it and execute it. And like everything, it takes experience and practice. So in my mind, I don't know, you're giving me way too much credit. But Ken and Jim Holly and several others that led the production, those are the ones that really made it look professional. I did some announcing, but they made it look like a game that if you flip the channel over to the next station over, there's a game on. Didn't look a whole lot different than one we were televising. And that combined with the fact that we had better than average equipment. Remember that, Reg?
Yeah.
We had this equipment that really nobody else at that level had.
Right.
It's because of this Canadian-owned cable TV operation that thought community television was pretty important.
Yeah.
So we're going to give them some good equipment and turn them loose. So we were able to get our experience up, but it wouldn't have looked as good without that kind of equipment, right?
Yeah.
The production truck we had, it would have looked more amateurish or one camera handheld.
Oh, you have one good,
more like
one
public,
good camera.
public access as opposed to broadcast quality, which is what we were trying to emulate. Yeah.
Well, you guys had to do some post-production critiquing, though. You had to watch the game.
A lot, yeah. We would look for areas where we can improve. As you know, there's a mechanics to it, right? From the director to the technical director and everybody who's in communication with the truck.
Yeah.
There's a mechanics to it, and there's a shot chart and a responsibility.
Right.
Each camera person, and so the people had to be able to execute that, and we had good people, and that's why so many of them went on. And I love that, to look at all those people and where they ended up. And I can't even remember all of them because I wasn't there as long as some of the others. I eventually moved on. But even after that, so many people ended up in some really great careers based on the start they got there at TV3.
Yeah. Well, you said, a second ago you said, I'm giving you too much credit. But see, when I talked to Ken and Jim, it was the three of you. So
we had a lot of meetings.
And
watched a lot of games.
I didn't the one thing I didn't want to see you do was frown when something didn't happen. And there were times when things didn't happen.
Sure.
And you would frown. I was like, oh man, he didn't like whatever. But it's okay. Some people want to reach perfection.
Right.
We never would have got perfection, but excellence. That's what it is. That's what it is. We had there was a level of excellence from when you guys first got the opportunity to do sports, from when you guys sat watching those games and watching Tiger baseball. See, it wasn't just, well, let's copy what they do. Because there are a lot of people who probably tried to copy what we did and couldn't do it because they didn't put the time in and they didn't have that level of excellence there, or even to set the bar high, if you want to use that. So, first of all, when you got there, when you get to the shoot, most of the time, cameras, everything was all set up. You make crew mail,
Yep.
And one thing. I'm gonna do a sidebar. Let me take a sidebar. I don't understand why you guys did this, and a lot of people do this. You take a slice of pizza. You take 2 slices of pizza, and you fold it, and now you got the tasty part folded, and you would bite. And I was like, he's even wasting his time eating the pizza because you can't taste the pepperoni, whatever. You fold, and all you taste is dough. It's like, was that just because you guys were in a hurry?
I think that was it. I think it was mostly it. Yeah, just jam it in our face.
Because I was just looking at you going, what do you even need stuff on the pizza for? But we had some good times. There were TV3 parties and stuff like that. And for me, if I look at 43, this year's 43 years for me, the most fun I had was when we were doing that sports stuff. It was so cool.
I think we all have a lot of those memories, and we'll keep those forever. And it was in a unique group, a unique situation. I don't know that there were many other groups that were anything close to that. Just the way it all came together, again, with the type of equipment, the type of commitment, the group who showed up and the talent that they possessed to pull that all together and make it look broadcast quality. I don't know how you could recreate that without those people.
You're right, yeah. Okay, but I got 2 words that I'm going to say to you.
All right.
And you tell me what life was like. March Madness.
Our March Madness or the NCAA?
No. Our
Yeah.
March Madness.
Remember how ambitious we were, right? There were districts and regionals and games going on in our area, and we would do 2-3 games a week, sometimes 2 in one night.
Yeah, that's
And that was a lot of work. But we pulled it off, and it was crazy but exhilarating. And even today, when you watch the NCAA tournament, I'm amazed at the announcers, because those guys are calling 2-3 games in a day. And I thought it was a lot doing one game back then, just a high school game. And these guys are doing these, high level college, and they're one game, and then a half hour after that, the second game. So it's a whole new 2 new teams, 2 new sets of information and statistics and notes and facts and figures. And the way these guys could roll with that, I've always been impressed.
But you did it. We had Taylor Kennedy.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say Rochester. Downriver. Southgate. And River Rouge. Franthea Price and all of them.
Franthea, one of the greatest players of all time.
And again, you didn't show up that day. Most of the time, we were doing 2 games a night. We were doing
the tournament.
Doing 2 games, and so if you did it one night, let's just say games were Monday and Friday. Okay, that's 4 games. That's a lot more work for you. But we were doing through the week. Matter of fact, Dave and I said, this is like a regular job. It's paying like a regular job now, because we were working that much.
Yeah.
So that had to be just, because what do you do? Because again, I didn't see you had an assistant.
No.
So
and as I
take me there.
as I said earlier, the amount of information, you had to kind of really dig for it, because these are high school people. They don't have a lot of background. So there's nobody in college. You have, sports information directors, and in the professional level, you have all kinds of production help, and they have reams of information giving to you, and you can pick and choose what you want to use or make your own notes or whatever. But that was hard. But yeah, you just plug in the next set of information. You end up, it's almost like a template in your mind. And if you have a chart that you write out, which most announcers have some sort of a chart. I look for that too, even today, if they show you a table, I try to see what kind of charting they have. A lot of them are using laptops now, and they've got stuff that they can just click on things.
Yeah.
But I was literally handwriting little notes in different colors and little small letters, literally green, red.
You had that all on the table in front of you?
And I had a lot of it in front of me. So
wow.
In big letters and numbers, I could see a name if I didn't know that guy's number 32. Yeah, and Jones, just scored, and you could read something about him real quick. But it was challenging, and it was a lot of work, but it was exhilarating and fun.
Well, I remember we used to do things like sometimes if the teams were, practicing and doing a shoot around, we'd have to get on camera and they say, okay, follow number 23, and you're trying to follow them around. I'm going, well, I wonder why we're doing this. Now that I sit here talking to you, so that then if you want to highlight or talk about a specific player, then we have B-roll footage, and then they can say, okay, roll it, and then you could just talk to it. So, but see, again, that didn't just happen on our end. And see, that's what I'm saying. You say I'm giving them too much credit, but see, you have to tell Ken or whoever, okay, this is the guy, this is their main player, or he had a triple double or whatever the information was.
Yeah.
So, there are things that we did on the production end that it just didn't just happen. I know that.
Yeah. We all had our input, and we did have those production meetings away from the job in our apartment, sitting around at night, having a beer and watching the game. Oh, see what they did there? Oh, that's cool. Can we do that? I think we can. Ken would call or check for that. What can we? Hey, Reg, what about? Can we make it sound like this? Can we? How do you do that? Where do we put a microphone? And we had those parabolic microphones on the basketball floors.
Yeah.
We emulated what they did. When we'd watch these games, we could see sometimes. That's what we get. Oh, I see. They got a mic over there, or there's a mic hanging just below the basket, and we would spot it. And I see how they're making that sound. So, we copied the best we could.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I don't know if you'll remember this. Dave and I, we used to do forward shoots or whatever. So one Friday, we had a forward shoot that Monday, and I went and picked up a wireless lavalier. And I said, and I had it in the car. We instead of coming to TV3, we came straight to the field. And I said, Ken, I don't know. I'm to see if you remember this. I said, I have a lavalier and a wireless mic in the car. I said, let's see if we can mic the ump for the football game, and put the mic on, and then because we were exactly like the NFL.
Yes.
And the only thing I thought was, boy, I sure hope he doesn't get tackled. But do you remember that?
Yes, and that was really cool because we didn't own that equipment.
Yeah.
But that's what the pros have it. So you happen to get your hands on it and say, hey, we can use that. And there it is, another example of how else can we be like the pros. And we did on one of my talk shows that I used to do at the cable place. I did a feature on a local umpire.
Yeah.
This guy umpired college games, and I'd known him a long time because I remember him when I was playing in college. I remember he was umpiring then. So I got to know the guy. And then later on, as we're doing television, there he is. And so we did a feature on him, and we mic'd him. And he was behind the plate calling an Eastern Michigan college baseball game. And we had a really, really great audio from that with him behind the plate. It was so cool. But because we had the equipment and the people.
And it's the little thing. It's not necessarily a little thing, but everybody had their part. Because it wasn't, because I could have not said anything, but I thought it would be so cool. How cool would it be? And the thing, and what was cool, what was really cool about it was the cooperation that we got from the ump, because he was just so into it.
Sure.
We told him where to stay. He hit his mark, and he turned that mic on and then back off.
Well, it's just like, remember, again, when we would go into the huddles, again, we saw him do it on the NBA or in college. Timeout, near the end of the game, urgent. The coaches got this team gathered around him, and wouldn't it be nice to know what that coach is saying? Yes, it would. They started putting microphones on, and we were able to do that.
We had microphones. It was me and Dave. We put the microphone on top of the camera, and sometimes because the players were so tall, flip the viewfinder down, hold it up like this, and so the cameras were like 10, 12 pounds, and just you stick, and then they say, zoom into the board. But we did it. We did it to make it that much better. And what I imagine from your, well, no, I'm not even going to ask that what I imagine, but for you to be able to see that, that had to kind of had to jazz you a little bit.
Cool. No, it was cool.
But then you can sound more like the, not professional, because you were professional, but you sound like the network because you.
Now we can react. We can react to what was said in that huddle. We can talk about it on camera or on mic with my color commentator, and pick up some insight and look for that, because it all lends to the production and the understanding of the game. As the fans who are watching a game, we're all trying to give you more insight into it. And look what they do nowadays. It's unbelievable. There's microphones everywhere. They got a mic in the locker room. They got a mic during practice. They got a mic, all the time, everywhere. So just a matter of how much of it they want to use.
Now, what do you think about this? Is what I was really impressed with: the first down marker and line of scrimmage marker. Because you remember, if we had tried to do a first down marker, we would have that yellow line going across everybody. And when I first saw that, I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Yeah. And players are running over and I know their graphics.
Yeah.
And technology is just—it's
incredible.
It's just leaped. But you know what? Like I said, first of all, I have to admit, my education really took a leap because of what I was able to learn and to do at TV3, even from a directing standpoint. There are things, as I direct now, I can hear Ken or John, not Ken or Bob or
Jim,
yeah. and shucks, I say his name right, Ben.
Yeah.
And I can hear them saying those things.
They were good.
But it's not they. It's not just like, like I said, this was a group of people who we were lifting, not even ourselves, we were lifting what we did up.
Mm-hmm.
And so, when I first talked to Ken and got him to come on, and when I talked to Jim and now you, is because, and I'm planning to reach out to a few more people, but you guys were pros. I was kind of like hanging on.
We all had
until I got there.
We all had enough interest in it, and not just from the sports end, but those guys were good. Remember all the other stuff we televised, and early on, I was the only on-air person we had. So I'm doing the 4th of July parade or the Thanksgiving parade or the opening day of Little League in Taylor. I remember we covered that because the cities would ask us, and we would do it for them, even though some of them weren't necessarily the most interesting televised events in history, but we did a little of everything, and that lended to everybody's experience and their ability to advance to all these high places in the industry.
Well, Jim, who's Jim? Because I'm blurring all of y'all together now. But Bob, I tell you, I really appreciate you coming on.
Pleasure, Reg.
It's been. And the thing about it, all the things we've talked about, we still didn't come close to getting to, all the things we did and stuff like that. But I appreciate you coming on. It's been great reunion. Great to see you.
My pleasure. Enjoyed it.
And I'd like to say, if you're interested in coming on to have a conversation, you can reach out to me at EMERJ TV on Facebook, EMERJ TV, or if you have people who want to watch it, they don't have Facebook, go to emerj.tv on any browser. Bring them to my page, or if you want to reach out, it's emerj.tv@gmail. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching EMERJ TV with Reggie Smith. Join us next time for more discussions on all things production. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.